Now at 9, police in Parsons say they caught the Grinch after a holiday crime spree, but his punishment may just grow his heart 2 sizes bigger. And a free event today helped to make sure lost pets can find their way home. Plus, a massive surprise turned an entire elementary school into a Christmas wonderland.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Apprehended a suspect accused of multiple charges, including mischief, destruction of desert property, and illegal taste testing. This is KOAM News. I'm Anthony Saviello. KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with the police department to bring us more about this Christmas criminal.
In Parsons, Kansas, police served justice in a case of Christmas chaos occurring around the city. Officers arrested the suspect, identified as the Grinch, for breaking into a local ice cream store to sample different flavors.
We dealt with him at our new ice cream store here in town. It's called the Cherry on Top. He broke in, taste tested all of the snacks, all of the ice cream, and then they made their own Grinch flavor with his help, it sounds like, too.
Witnesses spotted the Christmas criminal in different locations around Parsons, including the movie theater and Ace Hardware, before police apprehended him.
We got a warrant for him, and we ended up taking him into custody. We chased him at Ace Hardware, just here across the alley.
However, in the spirit of the holidays, authorities released the Grinch from jail on bond and required him to complete community service.
We think that being able to do the community service and learn how to make his heart 2 sizes bigger like everybody else's during the holiday season, that'll help him learn some consequences.
Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The bond posted for the Grinch's released was $1,000, with the money going towards Parsons' Shop with a Cop program to buy presents for area children. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Donald O'Keefe.
Well, the Grinch should be happy this week because we probably won't see a white Christmas with temperatures on the rise. Our current conditions right now, 47 degrees, feels like 42. Winds out of the southeast, about 10 miles an hour. It is going to get breezy by Monday morning. Let's take a look at Monday morning right now. 7 a.m. temperatures about the mid-40s, mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the south, bringing in that warmer air. Then by Monday afternoon, temperatures in the low 60s, so it's going to be a pretty nice day for our Monday. Like I said, a bit breezy. Then getting into Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., temperatures now in the mid-50s for our Tuesday. Cloudy skies until we get to the afternoon. Then temperatures are going to be about the upper 60s and lower 70s. So a great start to the work week. It is going to be a bit breezy though. Like I said, for Monday, winds are going to be about 20, 25, even 30 miles an hour. But like I said, we're going to see some comfortable days ahead. Dry conditions will persist this week and above average temperatures for Christmas, but I'll have those details coming up.
Donald, thank you very much. The Southeast Kansas Humane Society held a free microchip clinic today to help pet owners protect their dogs and cats. Microchipping, which can cost around $65, was offered at no cost, helping ensure lost pets can be reunited with their families if found and scanned at a vet or shelter.
It's important to get your animals microchipped because if they were to get out and someone were to turn them over to like a vet or another humane society, they could be scanned and then your information would come up once you get it put over into your name.
The event required online sign-ups with the pets up to date on their rabies vaccinations, dogs on leashes, and cats in their carriers. Well, every child at a Missouri elementary school will have a Christmas gift this year, all thanks to the generosity of one man. Mike Bush explains what led to the compassionate gesture.
Some surprises don't come quietly. They arrive all at once. At Murphy Elementary School in High Ridge, Missouri, that surprise took over the entire building. Hallways, and especially the gym, transformed from ceiling to floor into a Christmas wonderland. The results of months of planning by teachers, staff, and volunteers, all working together to give their students something unforgettable. Every student from early childhood through 5th grade walking into a moment built just for them.
That we were able to go out and buy each and every one of you a Christmas gift.
And we're not just telling you that we love you, we are showing you that we love you.
Would you help Sama get a TV?
The day was made possible by Ricky Whittington, a St. Louis philanthropist who runs the R. Whittington Foundation. working alongside the school to make sure no child was left out.
We are taking care of over 447 kids. The whole entire school will be blessed with toys today.
He doesn't see it as charity, he sees it as a choice, a chance to turn painful memory into Christmas magic.
I was a kid that never got a Christmas gift. I was a kid that never had a bed. I was a kid that never had a bedroom. I was a kid that slept on the floor.
A childhood without, now fueling a lifetime of giving.
I got surround sound headphones. I got a telescope, a Lego car.
For many of these kids, Christmas would have looked far different if not for this day.
See, you got a TV too?
And the impact will last long after the wrapping paper is gone.
We wanted our students to feel the magic of Christmas, and we want them to know that they are loved.
A reflection of what happens when generosity meets compassion.
I got a hoverboard because of this wonderful person that made all this for us.
Ricky hopes the message goes beyond toys.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Someone sees you, someone loves you. So just keep moving forward.
To the students at Murphy Elementary, there were 2 Santas on this day.
He is a blessing to not only Murphy School, but all of St. Louis and the surrounding area.
A Christmas surprise that didn't just arrive all at once. It lingered, reminding every child they matter.
Well, still ahead on KOAM News, flu cases are surging across the U.S. and around the world. Well, doctors are warning about surging cases of influenza. At least 1,900 people have died from the flu nationwide this season, including 3 children. The CDC says that 2 of those children's deaths were reported in just the last week. Jen Sullivan reports on the growing warning from doctors as millions of people get ready to gather for the holidays.
At the DC Public Health Lab, doctors are busy testing diseases that could become a public health concern.
The really only time that people see us is when there's a public health emergency.
Dr. Jocelyn Hauser is the director. She says doctors' offices and hospitals around the country send them swabs collected from patients.
We receive those samples and log them into our information system.
Those results are then sent to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This year, the CDC is particularly concerned about growing cases of influenza. The latest data released Friday shows there have been at least 4.6 million flu cases so far this season, 49,000 hospitalizations, and 1,900 deaths in the U.S. alone. The dominant strain causing the surge in illnesses is subclade K, a mutation of influenza A.
We think that this clade K virus is evading population immunity, meaning more people are susceptible to infection.
While doctors in the CDC say the best protection is to get the flu vaccine, Johns Hopkins University professor Andrew Pekosh says this year the shot may not be enough.
It has mutations that may allow it to evade some, but not all, of the influenza vaccine-induced protection.
As millions of people prepare to travel and gather this week for the holidays, there's growing concern illnesses may spike, and cases are surging around the globe. Children, adults 65 and older, and those with underlying medical conditions are particularly vulnerable to the flu. Medical experts are urging everyone 6 months and older to get the flu vaccine. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Well, the mental health of many Americans remains a major challenge. A new West Health Gallup poll shows Americans are feeling worse about their mental health. For the first time, fewer than 30% of adults say their mental health is excellent, a 13-point drop over the past 6 years. Researchers say the COVID-19 pandemic appears to be a major turning point. Before the pandemic, mental health ratings were stable, with about 42% of Americans rating their mental health as excellent. That number dropped sharply in 2020 and has continued to decline since. Coming up a little later, Americans are traveling in record numbers this holiday season. Which days will be the busiest and what experts say to expect if you're flying or driving.
Turned out to be a pretty nice Sunday. Temperatures are on the rise, but it's going to get a bit breezy for our Monday. Let's take a look at our Skywatch storm tracker. Not much happening right now. Actually, a high pressure system is building into our area, which is going to bring those temperatures up by Christmas. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Just some passing clouds, but overall it's going to be a pretty nice start to our work week. Current conditions right now, 47 degrees, clear skies, winds out of the southeast, 10 miles an hour. So a pretty decent night. All right, let's take a look at our Monday morning, 7 a.m. Temperatures are going to be in the mid 40s. A relatively comfortable feeling for this time of the year. Cloudy skies until we get to the afternoon when temperatures are going to start going up to the lower 60s for our Monday. Like I said, it is going to be a bit breezy though. I'll get to that in a minute. Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Now we're seeing temperatures in the mid 50s for 7 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies until we get to the afternoon again. Temperatures will be right around the low 70s for our Tuesday. Like I said, it is going to be a bit breezy though for Monday. We're going to see wind gusts out of the south about 25, even 30 miles an hour as we're starting to get into that high pressure system. So if you're planning your day for Monday for Joplin, 46 degrees in the morning, cloudy skies until we get to the afternoon, warming up to 61 degrees with that sunshine starting to come out by the afternoon. Downtown Joplin, Cornell and Arts Entertainment Complex look like a pretty nice night out there right now. Like I said, if you want to do a late night walk, not a bad idea to do it. But this is the big story. It's actually going to be pretty warm for Christmas. We can see this temperature trend. Saturday we were at 60. We dropped down to 52 today. Then look at this. By the time we get to Christmas Eve, 75 degrees. Let's talk about that right now. So basically Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that high pressure system is going to start building into our area. Now we're at Christmas Day. Now we're seeing the high pressure system over our area, bringing in that nice flow of southerly winds, bringing in nice warmer temperatures to our area. And we're going to see that even if we get into Friday and Saturday. Then by the time we get to Sunday, things are going to start changing. That's when we're going to see rain chances start building in Sunday and Monday. And there's a system way out there by Las Vegas that's going to start pushing its way to our area Monday into Tuesday, increasing those rain chances to our area. And we actually need the rain because it's been quite a bit dry for quite a while. And like I said, it's going to be a bit warm too, so that's not going to help these dry conditions. But let's take a closer look now. So Monday, temperatures in the mid 60s, staying on the drier side into Tuesday, temperatures now in the 70s. Christmas Eve still hovering around those 70s as well, about low to mid 70s. And Christmas Day still low to mid 70s. These could be record tying or even record breaking temperatures for our area. We're going to keep an eye out on those temperatures for over the next couple of days. Getting into Friday, still hovering around the 60s and low 70s. Saturday still above average, still around the 70 mark. And then by Sunday is when that change comes. We're going to start seeing those rain chances return to our area for Sunday and even into Monday and Tuesday of next week as well, dropping those temperatures down and increasing those rain chances. But we need the rain. Why? Because we've been so dry. Most of the area is seeing dry, moderate, and even severe drought out there in the eastern part. But taking a look at our 10-day here, 61 degrees on Monday, a bit breezy, 71 degrees on Tuesday, warming up to 75 for Christmas Eve, 74 for Christmas Day, and it's December.
You know, let's replace the hot chocolate with some pina coladas, and let's hit the beach, Donald, because it feels like that.
What do we have to drive, like 10 hours to the nearest beach, I think?
Well, yeah, probably.
That's okay. We can find a way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Donald. Coming up, a multi-state manhunt comes to a tragic end. The suspect in a deadly Brown University shooting and the killing of an MIT professor has been found dead. Well, surveys indicate Americans don't feel great about the overall economy right now, but it won't stop them from hitting the road for the holidays. Multiple forecasts see record numbers of holiday travelers. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at which costs are up and down.
More travelers, more airplane seats, higher airfares, and lower gas prices. It all adds up to another 2025 travel boom.
Americans aren't letting economic uneasiness stop them from hitting the roads, the rails, and the airports for the holidays.
The uncertain economy is certainly not stopping them from holiday travel. This is yet another record season.
AAA forecasts 122.4 million U.S. travelers will take a trip at least 50 miles from home during the end-of-year holiday travel period. That's up 2.2% from 2024. About 90% of holiday travelers, AAA says, will go by car, with the national average for a gallon of gas sitting below $3 thanks to crude oil prices down 20% from this time last year. In the skies, industry trade group Airlines for America anticipates domestic airlines will carry 52.6 million passengers between December 19th and January 5th, up 1.5% over 2024.
Expedia's Melanie Fish says passengers who want to travel with minimal crowds should avoid the highest volume days.
The busiest day for air travel is shaping up to be that Saturday right before Christmas. And then the second busiest day is shaping up to be the 26th, the day right after Christmas.
Airlines for America predicts U.S. Airlines will add 72,000 seats each day of the holiday stretch. Sarah Kopit, editor-in-chief for travel news site Skift, says airlines have prepared for the rush as best they can, even as the nation grapples with an ongoing air traffic controller shortage.
The airports and the airlines, they are confident that this season they'll be able to handle anyone who wants to come out and fly.
And for those who delayed booking their holiday flights, Expedia's Melanie Fish tells me that there still are some seats available, but expect to pay for them. She also said that some last-minute routes may require multiple legs or layovers, so make sure that saving money is worth that extra time. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, many workers fear artificial intelligence is coming for their jobs, yet new research finds the opposite is true, at least for now. Jobs most exposed to AI automation are actually growing faster than other occupations, according to a new analysis from Vanguard. The study looked at about 140 roles considered most vulnerable to AI, including office and law clerks, HR assistants, and data scientists. While some companies say AI is replacing or streamlining entry-level tasks, Vanguard found no sign of widespread job losses. In fact, employment in high AI-exposed roles rose slightly over the past 2 years, while job growth slowed in other occupations. U.S. consumers got some good financial news heading into the holiday season. Inflation eased last month, measuring 2.7% compared to the year before. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that's down from 3% in September and is the lowest the rate has been since July. But some economists say people shouldn't read too much into those numbers because the economic data has been thrown off by the government shutdown. The Consumer Price Index for October wasn't calculated at all due to that shutdown. Coming up next, Harrison Ford is being honored with the SAG-AFTRA Life Achievement Award for his legendary roles as Han Solo and Indiana Jones. Actor Harrison Ford is set to receive the SAG-AFTRA Life Achievement Award for his legendary career on the big screen. The 83-year-old is known for iconic characters such as Han Solo in Star Wars and Indiana Jones in the long-running adventure film franchise. Ford will be recognized March 1st during the 32nd Actor Awards, streaming live on Netflix. In a statement, the veteran actor said he was deeply honored. Ford will become the 61st recipient to receive the award. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, European leaders have reached a deal to fund Ukraine for the next 2 years, avoiding a looming cash crisis, though they fell short of using Russia's frozen assets, instead relying on EU-backed loans.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
5 days after the mass shooting at Brown University, the suspect was found dead after taking his own life. Claudio Neves Valente, a 48-year-old former Brown University student and Portuguese national, was found at a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. Lee Waldman brings us the latest on the investigation.
I hope my entire city slept a little better last night. Everything about this situation is tragic.
The days-long manhunt for the Brown University mass shooter and the gunman who killed an MIT professor ended when the man authorities suspected in both was found dead at a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. Prosecutors say former Brown University student Claudio Neves Valente opened fire in an engineering building last Saturday, killing 2 people and injuring 9 others. 2 days later, authorities say he killed Massachusetts Institute of Technology professor Nuno Loureiro at his home.
We don't have a motive. As you know, this developed extremely quickly. At this point, we're going to look further into it.
Law enforcement found an abandoned car with a license plate believed to be connected to Neves Valente in Salem. Investigators say a trove of ballistic evidence, including dozens of shell casings, helped them connect him to the shooting at Brown. Mayor Brett Smiley said a tipster spoke with authorities after his photo was released by Providence police 2 days ago, saying he had been in proximity to the suspect.
Within an hour, walked up to a Providence police officer and says, "I think you're looking for me." and came in and was fully forthcoming, provided key details that helped us.
Neves Valente and the MIT professor he suspected of killing were enrolled in the same undergraduate degree program in Portugal. In a release, MIT said, "Our community continues to mourn and remember Nuno, an incredible scientist, colleague, mentor, and friend." In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Well, sources say the U.S. Coast Guard, with help from the military, carried out the operation in international waters. It marks the second U.S. interdiction of a vessel near Venezuela in the past 2 weeks. Earlier this month, the U.S. seized an oil tanker called the Skipper over its ties to Iran, though officials say the vessel seized Saturday was not under sanctions. The move comes as the Trump administration increases pressure on Venezuela days after designating Nicolas Maduro's government a foreign terrorist organization. Russia is welcoming a European decision not to use frozen Russian assets for the financial support it's giving Ukraine. Friday, EU officials announced a deal to provide more than $100 billion to Kyiv over the next 2 years. Claire Sebastian reports.
European leaders had promised that they would not leave this summit until they had a clear plan as to how to fund Ukraine through the next 2 years. And they kept that promise. In the early hours of Friday morning, after a marathon day of talks, they came to a deal. But it wasn't what some had hoped or even expected. The big focus coming into this was whether or not they would be able to use the cash balances from Russia's frozen assets here in Europe to fund a loan for Ukraine. They haven't managed to reach a deal on that. Instead, they're going to borrow on the capital markets, and that will be guaranteed by unspent funds in the EU budget. Either way, Ukraine will not have to pay this back until the war ends and Russia pays reparations. So European leaders here were keen to paint this as a win.
The message we are sending to Russia today is crystal clear. First, you have not achieved your objectives in Ukraine. Second, Europe stands with Ukraine today, tomorrow, and as long as necessary.
Had we left Brussels divided today, Europe would have walked away from geopolitical relevance. It would have been a total disaster.
So Europe has passed this test of its strength and unity, but this whole process did amplify divisions within the bloc, and it suddenly came down to the wire for Ukraine, which by the spring would be facing a cash crunch so large that its president, who was here today, President Zelensky, warned that it might even have to cut back on its critical drone production. That crisis, for now, seems to be averted, and Ukraine goes into the next phase of peace talks with the US in a stronger position. Claire Sebastian, CNN, in Brussels.
A little later, preschoolers who are deaf and hard of hearing take the stage for a holiday show showcasing how they're finding their voices through music and technology.
Turned out to be a pretty decent Sunday for us, and it's going to be a great start to our work week. Taking a look at the Skywatch storm tracker right now, nothing much happening in our area, just some passing clouds. We're actually seeing a high pressure system build into our area that's going to bring in some well above average temperatures for our Christmas, so not looking too bad right now. But let's get into our current conditions right now. Out there in Joplin, 47 degrees. It feels like 42. Winds out of the southeast, a comfortable 10 miles an hour. But let's talk about tomorrow and Tuesday. So Monday morning at 7 a.m., mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the south, temperatures about the mid-40s, so a pretty decent start to our Monday morning. Then we're going to warm up to the lower 60s as the sun starts to peek out by the afternoon, and like I said, it's going to be above average for this time of year. Getting into Tuesday morning, look at those temperatures at 7 a.m., low to mid-50s, mostly cloudy skies, but then the clouds are going to dissipate and the sun's going to come out by Tuesday afternoon, warming temperatures up to the lower 70s, and that's right, lower 70s for our Tuesday. But like I said, it is going to be a bit windy out there for our Monday. We could see wind gusts out of the south, 20, 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour. So those will start to dissipate as we get into Tuesday. But if you're planning your day for Monday, 46 degrees at 7 a.m., mostly cloudy skies until the afternoon, warming up to 61 degrees for Monday. So take a look at downtown Joplin, Cornell, and Art and Entertainment Complex. Not a bad night out there if you want to do a nice late night walk. But here's the big story. It's going to be so warm for Christmas, above average. You can see today we got to 50 52, and then we're just going to increase. We can possibly see 75 degrees by Christmas Eve. And why is that going to happen? So we're looking at our upper level flow. This is Monday through Thursday. We can see that high pressure system pretty much dominates the whole week. And then by Christmas Day, we're going to see those temperatures because of that nice flow of southerly wind coming into our area, warming things up and staying on the drier side. That does continue through the weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But then by the time we get to Monday, you can see rain chances start to increase for our area. We have a low pressure system way out there by California that's going to make its way into our area Monday and Tuesday, increasing those rain chances, and we definitely need some rain. It has definitely been pretty dry over the last couple of weeks. So let's take a closer look. Monday, temperatures in the mid 60s. Moving into Tuesday, that's where we're going to start to see those 70s come into our area. Then by Wednesday, Christmas Eve, still mid to low 70s for the area. Then Thursday, Christmas Day, 70s again. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we can see record-breaking temperatures. That's what, like the fact that it's 70s in December, that's amazing to see. That's actually December. So all right, so taking a look at Friday, temperatures right around that mid-60 mark. But then, like I said, we're going to see that trend continue through the weekend into Saturday, still 70s. But then by the time we get to Sunday, things start to change. Temperatures are going to start dropping. A front is going to move in, bringing those rain chances back to the area for both Monday, Tuesday, and even into early parts of Wednesday as well. So we need the rain. It has been very dry, as you can, most of the area seen dry conditions, moderate, and even severe out there by Springfield. So taking a look at our 10-day here, 61 degrees Monday, 71 degrees on Tuesday, getting up to 75 degrees Christmas Eve, and then 74 for Christmas Day. And it is December, and I can't believe I'm saying it's going to be in the 70s for Christmas.
Yeah, you probably never had to deal with that living up in Buffalo, did you?
No, I think the warmest was maybe like 15 degrees outside.
Yeah, I believe it. Welcome to the Midwest, Donald.
I love it.
Still. And women's basketball take on Northeastern State on the road. And to pick up a win without Patrick Mahomes, Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next in sports.
The Missouri Southern men's and women's basketball teams are on the road today for matchups with Northeastern State. And the men go toe-to-toe with the Riverhawks, but ultimately fall in overtime, 119-117. Jaden Taylor and Tyrone Wright Jr. combined for 54 points in the loss. But the Lady Lions keep on rolling. They pick up their 6th straight win and remain undefeated in conference play after their 60-55 win. And we've got some huge news out of St. Louis in the Major League Baseball offseason. The Cardinals trade star first baseman Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox. In return, St. Louis receives starting pitcher Hunter Dobbins and minor league pitchers Hiker Fajardo and Blake Ida. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are out of playoff contention, but they take on the Tennessee Titans today, looking for a win without Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs look to longtime journeyman Gardner Minshew to get the job done against rookie QB Cam Ward and the 2-12 Titans. And this isn't good. Minshew was injured early and would later be taken out. So Kansas City would have to lean on a quarterback who's never played a snap, and oh my God, what am I watching? The Titans are dominating the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what? Turn this off. Turn this off. Tim, turn this off. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sure none of you wanted to see that massacre again. Let's head to some more football. In the noon slate, the Chargers, still in the division race, take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboy offense is rolling in this one. Dak Prescott goes deep for George Pickens. He's got the touchdown, and Dallas takes the lead, but the Chargers storm back in the fourth quarter. They lead by 10, and Omarion Hampton blows it open here as LA takes down Dallas 34-17. The Raiders battling with the Texans in Houston, down by 6 in the third. Geno Smith finds Ashton Jeanty for the nice gain, and Jeanty takes it all the way for the score and the lead, but Houston wouldn't give up so easily. They take the lead with a field goal, and here C.J. Stroud finds Dalton Schultz in the end zone. Texans win 23-21. The AFC leading Denver Broncos down by 7 in the third quarter to the Jaguars. But R.J. Harvey rushes for the first down, breaks a tackle, and bursts free for the touchdown run. Denver ties it up, but Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars have been one of the hottest teams of late. They take the lead, and here Lawrence connects with Parker. Washington taking it all the way to the 10-yard line. On the next play, Lawrence has got Travis Etienne for the score. The Jaguars upset the Broncos at Mile High Stadium, 34-20. Motown, the Steelers take on the Lions. They lead by 5 in the fourth quarter, but Jaylen Warren explodes for his second 45-yard rushing touchdown of the day. But not so fast, Steelers. The Lions storm back and have a chance to win it. Inside the 10-yard line, Jared Goff finds Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's short. And what's going on? St. Brown pitches it to Goff, who takes it in for the score. Everyone's confused. The refs come together and review it, and after looking at it, they call offensive pass interference on St. Brown. No time on the clock. Game over. Well, that is it for sports after that exciting day. We'll be back with more after the break.
A special performance took place in one Philadelphia school on Friday. The students are deaf and hard of hearing, but thanks to special technology, they were able to enjoy festive holiday songs. Stephanie Stahl has there for the show.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. Sounds of the season at the Clark School for Hearing and Speech in Overbrook. Welcome to the school's holiday show, performed by preschool students who are deaf and hard of hearing.
It's a great opportunity for their parents to see all their hard work and for the community to know that deaf children can listen and talk and sing.
Ashley Weaver is the program director.
They use hearing aids, cochlear implants, and other assistive technology to access the world of sound around them and develop listening and spoken language skills to have a conversation just like you and I are now.
My name's Chase. And how old are you, Chase? 5 years old. Chase Miller, who was born deaf, has had cochlear implants that allow him to hear since he was a baby.
There's a magnet inside of his head.
It was tough at first. We just kind of learned day by day how to handle everything and take things as they come.
In addition to learning holiday songs, these students learn a wide range of skills so they can be mainstreamed into traditional schools.
We love this event because it's a great opportunity for our students to highlight their listening and spoken language skills through music.
With songs celebrating different holiday traditions.
It's really important because they get to show their voices, that they can sing and speak and really just be themselves.
Learning to live with hearing challenges together and having fun.
I'm excited about Christmas.
Embracing this season of joy.
Up next, James Cameron opens up on the future of Avatar, the challenges of big budget filmmaking, and why the theater experience is still sacred for storytellers. It's a return to the mythical world of Pandora, with the third installment of the Avatar film series hitting theaters this past Friday. It's been 3 years since James Cameron's last Avatar blockbuster, The Way of Water, which earned more than $2 billion globally. But director James Cameron says the movie may not do as well given how theaters are struggling to get audiences back. Jason Carroll spoke one-on-one with the famed director.
When you were putting together the film, how present did you want that to be? And do you think audiences will pick up on that?
Well, I think they'll pick up on it. I mean, I think it's the risk of the film, right? You know, the goal was to ground this fantasy that takes place in this world that we built from scratch. That's quite dreamlike and phantasmagorical, but to ground it in real world problems. Problems that people could relate with anywhere, right? The thing about science fiction that I love is it transcends who we are right now in the present as somebody in Canada or in the US or in China or in Europe or whatever. It takes us out of that world and we can look kind of objectively back at ourselves, right? And relate to it through universals of human experience.
You were saying this can be the last one in terms of Avatar. Could this be the last one, or could we see another one?
We spend a lot of time and energy at a level of detail that's almost hyper-real to put you into this kind of almost waking dream state, this kind of lucid dream state. It's expensive. It's not like other filming. It's not like live-action filmmaking. And so we have to know people are going to the theater. We have to be able to justify the model.
Mm-hmm.
If I get to do another Avatar film, it'll be because the business model still works.
Okay.
That I can't guarantee as I sit here today. That'll play out over the next month, really.
And we will find another way.
With the world of streaming, how does that make it more challenging for you as a storyteller to get people into those seats, to get them in for that experience?
People want stories. They're consuming stories in a different way. That's okay, I'll adapt. The theater is a sacred space for me as a filmmaker. It's something that I think we all need. It's an art form that I think we've collectively enjoyed for the last 130 years. I think it's never going to go away, but I think that it could fall below a threshold where the kinds of movies that I like to make and that I like to see, and we were talking about some of them, won't be sustainable. They won't be economically viable. And that can happen. We're very close to that right now.
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Well, today is the winter solstice, with the Northern Hemisphere's shortest period of daylight all year. A shrimp of a day, you might say, and it's also an occasion to pay tribute to, well, actual shrimp. French fried shrimp, in particular. Seafood lovers around the nation observe National French Fried Shrimp Day every year on December 21st. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, Americans consume more shrimp than any other seafood. That's because it tastes pretty dang good. Well, that's been our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night and a lovely Christmas.